And now that we have your road trip all taken care of, where are you going to travel to and how can you save some money in the process? Well, I spoke with a travel expert earlier who had some great suggestions. Well, there are more ways than ever to take your family on an unforgettable vacation and do it in a way that's actually affordable. Well, here with the latest trends in summer travel and some special tips to make sure your trip is relaxing and enjoyable is travel expert Mark Murphy. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Alex.
It's nice to have you on. So, like I said, you're here to tell us about some of the new trends that are coming out in travel. And one of those things is the sharing economy. Can you tell us exactly what that is?
Yeah, Allianz Travel Insurance does this Vacation Confidence Index, and as part of this, they looked at the sharing economy, and they did it last year and again this year, and it's indicating that twice as many people will use services like Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, HomeAway, all of those, than they did last year, which is a massive increase. And that's just people making their products available and their homes available, cars available, and then people engaging in that through the apps and the websites of those various companies.
That is massive. So how can this actually help people save money?
Well, you know what? Like in New York City right now, if you want to book a hotel, it's $300 or $400 a night. You got a family of 4 coming in. You got to book 2 hotels to be comfortable. So you're paying $600, $800 plus taxes, everything else. It's $1,000 a night in some cases. Or you can basically rent a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom luxury condo for about $350 a night. Save a bundle. Bring in food, bring in breakfast, so you're not dropping $30 for the buffet at the, the Sheraton. And that is a massive cost savings, and a lot of families are doing that. People used to go and, rent different condos and vacation homes and do the same thing. And really, Airbnb is just kind of creating a democratic approach for any place in the world that wants to rent their place.
Right, and it actually takes some of the difficulty out of booking your reservations and booking your travel. It's actually a lot simpler these days, isn't it?
Without a doubt, you used to have VRBO and people would have vacation homes. But how do I find an apartment rental? Then you'd have apartmentrentals.com or whatever the heck it is. And it was really difficult. And what happened was it got consolidated. And Airbnb really just came in and put it all together, and it's just gone through the roof.
I agree. And now turning to some, destinations that we might want to go to, maybe some more exotic places. One of the biggest stories this year, obviously, was Zika. So how do families plan around that? How do they prepare? How do they prevent anything bad from happening?
So number one, always protect the trip with travel insurance. Always do that. I've had firsthand experience with one of my employees who got medevaced after having a collapsed lung. So buy travel insurance. You hope you don't need it, but if you do, you're protected. Number two, when it comes to Zika, stay away from the hype. If you're not in the mode of getting pregnant or, trying to get pregnant, et cetera, or going on your honeymoon, the chances of you, number one, having an issue are slim to none. Zika's been around since 1947. It's not new. It's just all of a sudden there's this new focus because of this microencephaly, which they still have not connected the dots on specifically to Zika. They think that's the case. Carry a DEET repellent with you for mosquitoes, and make sure that at peak, times you're covered. But also understand that in markets like the Caribbean and Mexico and Brazil, that people there are used to dealing with this, in particular the Caribbean and Mexico, and they have mitigation that has done a great job of tamping down any kind of pesky insects, let alone the Zika virus coming through that particular type of mosquito. So those are some of the things I'd look at, because a lot of people are afraid to go to Brazil right now. 70% of Americans, according to Allianz, are saying they're not going to go to and don't want to go to Brazil. And it's unfortunate. It's a great destination.
Right, it is unfortunate, and there's threats really all over the world. I mean, with terror, for example, on the other side of the world, people might be wary of going to places like Europe. So really quick, what would you say to them to maybe calm their concerns?
Well, number one, Europe is on sale, as is the rest of the world. Number two, you got a better chance of dying in your bathtub today than having a terrorist incident take your life. It's like ridiculous, the chance of having a problem. But that's what terrorism does, is it creates this irrational fear, and that's what their objective is. As Americans, be resilient. Look at 440 million or so people in Europe. Look at what's happened. It's terrible. But guess what? In our own backyards, in communities like San Bernardino and Orlando, we've seen craziness take place. So if you're afraid to go overseas, then look at Chicago, where 60 people last weekend got shot. But I go to Chicago all the time, and I don't think about that. I go to L.A. I go all over the world, and bad things can happen anywhere. Protect yourself when you travel with insurance, especially if you're going overseas, and then make sure that you're rational and you realize that the odds are in your favor. But hey, guess what? We're living life. We're moving forward in life, and that's what I'd encourage folks to do, in particular with travel.
I think you make excellent points. You have to manage your expectations and, realize that if you take precautions, then you're going to be safe. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. And if you get a chance, you can get more at AllianzTravelInsurance.com if you get a chance to check out the Vacation Confidence Index. Thank you.
All right, definitely. We'll do that. Now, everybody else, stay right where you are. We'll be right back.